And I dug up an old video. It may scare some people. I've got a lot of hair in this video. This was 15 years ago, I think, and this is after I'd met Bev, and she had found those files.
Yeah.
And one of the files that she'd found was the software for the Jam Central Tabulator.
So let me just sort of set the scene
Yeah,
here.
set the scene.
So Diebold, which you all know as like a maker of ATMs and safes, and they protect the Constitution and other major documents in DC. Diebold decided to get into the voting machine business, and they didn't create the machines. They bought a voting machine company. It was a Canadian company called Global Election Management Systems. So Global Election Management Systems had the tabulation system for the voting machine, was called GEMS, after their name, Global Election Management System. And the GEMS database sits on a server in county offices, and it tabulates the votes as they come in from the voting machines. And so what Bev discovered, I'll describe, because I'm not sure it's clear from the video what exactly she's looking at. So in the 40,000 files that Bev discovered on the server, she discovered that the vote database could be accessed using Microsoft Access. And it wasn't password protected in any way. It wasn't, even the logs weren't protected. And so you could access the vote database using Microsoft Access, go in and alter the votes and alter the logs. And so that's what she shows in this video.
Okay, so this, like I said, this clip goes back almost 15 years now, and this is when I think it feels like Avi was spending probably 80% of his time on this. And you know, many of us were, because it was so intriguing to think that the equipment that we were using to cast votes were in this state. So let me roll this clip that is from the HBO documentary, Hacking Democracy.
Now, the central tabulator is sort of the one machine to rule them all. It collects all the votes. And every company, not just Diebold, has this central tabulator. Because, of course, the way you vote is you vote in individual precincts. They're scattered around. And there has to be one machine to pull all these threads together, add them all up, and pronounce the winner.
Bev wanted to find out if GEMS was really keeping the votes secure. And so she turned to computer security expert Dr. Hugh Thompson.
I was at this massive hacker/computer security conference, and I get approached by this grandmotherly figure, and she tells me that, hey, I've got access to the tabulation software from one of the biggest electronic voting manufacturers on the planet. I'm like, wow, that's very interesting. And then she says, can you take a look at it for me? I'd say the thing that shocked me was how easy vote totals could be changed. So imagine you can go into a box and essentially rewrite history, and there's no record of you rewriting history, and the only record of the history itself is the thing that you changed. And that's pretty scary to me.
Bev and Hugh worked out a way to demonstrate the insecurity of GEMS. She was invited to appear with her computer hack on national TV with former presidential candidate Governor Howard Dean.
All right, Bev, show me how to do this.
Well, what we have here is the central tabulator computer. Now, in a voting system, you have all these different voting machines at all the different polling places. All those machines feed into the one machine so it can add up all the votes. So, of course, if you were going to do something you shouldn't to a voting machine, would it be more convenient to do it to the 4,000 machines, or to just come in here to one machine and deal with all of them at once? The GEMS program is the program that is the central tabulator program. And I'm going to put in a password here. Okay, we're in. Now, this is the official program that the county supervisor sees. As we can see here, Howard Dean has 1,000 votes, and Lex Luthor has 500. So you're beating Lex Luthor, and we're
2-1.
Yes, and Tiger Woods unfortunately doesn't have any votes yet.
All right.
All right, let's close this out. I was just showing you the legitimate way to go in and look at votes, which of course you can't tamper with. Go to the Start menu, and I'm going to show you something tricky. And I want you to go to My Computer and just click that. And you're going to see go to Local Disk C and go to Program Files. Go to Central Tabulator Votes, and then go to the sum of the candidates, which is that table. You see, we have 800 votes here for you and 400 for Lex Luthor. Let's just flip those. We'll make that 400. And we'll give 100 votes to Tiger. Let's just see what happened here. We'll go back into GEMS the legitimate way. And as you can see now, Howard Dean only has 500 votes. Lex Luthor has 900 and Tiger Woods has 100 votes. We just edited an election. It took us 90 seconds.
That was, I mean, that kind of stuff was just mind-blowing, you know. And I got to share one story. So after this documentary came out, I think it was me, Hari Hursty, a couple other folks that were working on this. We met with an election official, which will remain nameless for obvious reasons. And, you know, we showed him this live, like, look, here's your machine, your actual machine. Let's go in. Just going to double click on this file. Very, very concerned. He's like, oh my gosh, this is really, really bad. And so I get a call from him 2 days later and says, look, our best people have been looking on this and we have fixed it. Right? And I'm like, man, that's amazing. You know, this really seems like a big architectural problem. How did you manage to get this solved in such a short period of time? I mean, was it a team of coders or that? And he said, no, what we did is we deleted Microsoft Access off of the machines. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, and I'm like, can you hold on 1 second? So I type up this, you know, file in Notepad and, you know, VBS file. Then of course you can access all these things through JET. And I'm like, here, take this text file and double click on it while we're on the phone. So I email it to him, double clicks on it, changes the votes, and he's like, we'll get back to you. So then 2 days after that, he did call me back, right? And he's like, look, you know, geez, you really scared me when you sent me this file. So thanks so much for this. You know, this was very, very illuminating. And we just want to let you know, for your own peace of mind, that we have now systemically fixed this problem, right? I'm like, wow, that is truly incredible. It's like amazing that you were able to kind of commandeer that kind of action so quickly. I'm like, well, just out of curiosity, what did you do? We've gone to all the machines and we've removed notepad.exe. But you know, it's